Hi! Let's take a step forward sa accounting cycle at pag-usapan natin ang adjusting process. Now, let me begin the adjusting process by going back doon sa ating visual ng accounting cycle in coordination doon sa definition ng accounting. So, kung makikita mo dito sa ating slide, nasa pang-apat na tayo na part. Although, pag pinag-uusapan natin yung accounting definition, andun pa rin tayo sa summarizing phase. Ang summarizing phase, nag-umpisa ito doon sa preparation of your trial balance. Yun nga lang, kinakailangan, it necessitates sometimes to make an adjusting entries para ma-correct yung mga balances ng accounts. Sa actual practice kasi, maraming mga ginagawang transactions yung accounting department na kinakailangan minsan na i-adjust yung mga accounts. For the sake of convenience kasi, minsan, halimbawa, bibili sila ng insurance, either i-expense out na nila ito lahat dahil eventually i-utilize din naman ito sa buong periods or let's say sa isang taon. O kaya naman, kung may mga advance collections for sales, nakakolekta ka in advance pero eventually magbebenta ka pa rin naman or magde-deliver ka ng service, nagkakaroon ng cash basis of accounting. Remember that one of the underlying assumptions sa accounting is yung tinatawag natin na going concern. Kung saan, kung ikaw ay magsiset up ng business, hindi mo iniisip na malulugi ito at magsasarado ka. So, we foresee that the business will operate in the foreseeable future. Nakikita natin na magpapatuloy ito. And para ma-measure, para masukat natin kung kumusta yung lagay ng negosyo mo, kailangan nating hati-hatiin yung mga periods na ito. At dito naman pumapasok yung ating periodicity concept. Now, pansinin ninyo, sa aking screen, sinapchap natin yung period. Hindi mo alam kasi kung hanggang kailan mag-ooperate yung business because you are operating under a going concern assumption. And since maraming mga users, mapa-internal man o external ito, na nangangailangan ng results of the business, kung kumusta yung lagay ng negosyo, so it really necessitates na makapag-prepare ng mga financial reports at the end of a certain period in time. Yun nga lang, because of accrual basis of accounting, maraming mga transactions yung kailangang i-record na sa company. Kung kailan nangyari ito at hindi kung kailan nabayaran or kung kailan may dumating na pera. Otherwise, kung hindi kasi natin ito inire-record at yung tinatawag na cash basis tayo, kung kailan lang may money involved, saka lang tayo magre-record, yung mga financial reports na i-generate ng system, ng accounting system, ay hindi magbibigay ng totoong lagay ng negosyo. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng mga adjusting entries o yung mga adjustments. Now, when we are talking of accrual basis of accounting, I just want to emphasize that we have the following recognition principles in accounting. The first one of which is the revenue recognition principle, kung saan sinasabi na nito, kailangan nating mag-recognize ng revenue kapag nakapag-provide ka na ng service o nakapag-deliver ka na ng goods sa customer mo at hindi kung kailan kami natanggap na pera. Okay? On the other hand, yung tinatawag naman natin na expense recognition principle, kailangan naman nating i-recognize yung mga expenses kung kailan ito nangyari, hindi kung kailan natin ito binayaran. So, etong dalawang recognition principles na ito comes together hand in hand because of your accrual basis of accounting. Kaya meron din tayong sinasabi na matching principle, kung saan sinasabi ng matching principle na yung expenses incurred should be matched against the revenue earned during the period. Kasi para makabenta ka ng isang produkto o makapag-provide ka ng isang service kung saan kikita ka, magkakaroon ka ng tubo, there are necessary expenses that you have to incur. So, we have to match the expenses versus the revenues earned. At this point in time, it would be good, it would be relevant na i-differentiate natin yung cash basis versus accrual basis of accounting using an example. So, I have here on our slide 4 different transactions. Let's start with December 20. Okay? Assuming on December 20, nagkaroon ka ng benta, cash sales, 30,000, and then sales on account. Okay? Yung nakapagbenta ka pero utang muna ito, you have 20,000 pesos. So, yung total na benta mo, your total sales is 50,000. Now, on December 27 naman, nakatanggap ka ng electricity bill na yung amount is 5,000. Naka-receive ka pa lang. Okay? Hindi mo pa ito binayaran. On January 3, saka mo lang ito binayaran. And on January 5, saka mo lang din nakolekta yung 20,000 from your customers. Ito yung sales on account. Okay? So, itong apat na ito ay simple illustration para ma-differentiate natin, maipakita natin yung differences between cash basis and yung accrual basis of accounting. Now, kung under cash basis ka kasi, nagre-recognize tayo ng entries kapag may natanggap tayo na pera or naglabas tayo ng pera. Kung nung 2019, o pag pinag-usapan natin 2019, yung mga December transactions, ang revenue mo lang dito is 30,000. Kasi, doon sa December 20, ang natanggap mo lang ay 30,000 out of your 50,000. Remember that the 20,000 ay utang pa ito ng customer sa iyo. Binayaran lang ito noong January 5. So, dito, ang kita mo lang ay 30,000. Now, because yung electricity bill mo, yung electricity expense mo, ay binayaran mo noong January 3, kung cash basis ka, wala kang expenses. Therefore, kapag pupunta tayo doon sa income statement, 30,000 yung revenue mo, less expenses na 0, you have a net profit of 30,000. So, sinasabi nito na kumita ka ng 30,000 noong 2019. Now, papaano naman sa 2020? Tumawid ito ng taon. Sa 2020, kung cash basis tayo, dahil nakolekta natin noong January 5, yung 20,000, so we have a revenue of 20,000. At dahil January 3 natin binayaran, yung electricity bill mo, meron kang 5,000 expense for 2020. Therefore, 20,000 less 5,000, you have a net profit of 15,000. So you see the difference. 2019, 30,000 yung net profit mo. Noong 2020, meron kang 15,000 pesos. How about pag ginawa natin ito using the accrual basis of accounting, which is the generally accepted accounting principle or yung GAAP na tinatawag natin. It follows the GAAP. Sa 2019, dahil ang benta mo sa totoo lang ay 50,000, ni-record natin ito as 50,000. Regardless kung nakolekta mo man ito yung 20,000 sa susunod na buwan. So dito makikita ninyo, we have 50,000 revenue. And then, yung electricity bill mo, ni-recognize na natin ito as expense because the bill is for the period of December. Hindi kung kailan ito nabayaran. That is why, makikita mo dito, the expense is 5,000 already by 2019. That's why, yung net profit mo is 45,000. Yung difference ng dalawang amount. Pagdating ng 2020, pansinin mo, wala kang revenue, wala kang expenses because the collections and the payments in January pertains to your transactions in December. So, wala kang profit. Makikita mo yung difference na ngayon between cash basis and accrual basis of accounting. Merong 15,000 na tumawid ng period. Pero sa accrual basis, na-recognize na natin ito noong 2019 pa. Kasi dapat lang ito na i-recognize for 2019. So, ganoon ka-importante na malaman natin yung accrual basis at ma-differentiate natin ito sa cash basis. Kasi minsan, in actual practice, may mga companies na gumagamit ng cash basis of accounting. Kaya at the end of the period, pag kinakailangan nilang mag-provide ng report, mag-a-adjust sila kasi naka-cash basis sila. Pero we have to follow the accrual basis of accounting. Especially if we are preparing yung general purpose financial statement which is for the public to know. So, ganoon ka-importante yung adjusting entries. Sa mga susunod na episodes, uupuan natin one by one yung mga different types of your adjusting items. Pero as start, makikita ninyo sa screen natin yung mga iba't ibang klase ng adjusting items. And we have your prepaid expenses, you have your accrued expenses, you have your accrued revenue, and you have your unearned revenues. Meron pa tayong pang-limang type of adjustment, yung tinatawag naman natin na depreciation. Basically, ito palang apat na ito, maika-classify natin into two groups. Yung tinatawag naman natin na deferrals and yung accruals. Pero, the details will be discussed in the upcoming episodes. At least sa ngayon, naupuan lang natin muna yung principles behind para lang aware tayo kung bakit nagkakaroon ng mga adjusting entries. So para sa mga susunod, alam na natin kung paano intindihin itong mga types of adjustments na ito. So maraming salamat sa panunood sa ngayon. Kung hindi ka pa nakakapag-subscribe sa aking channel, please click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell para updated ka sa mga susunod kang uploads. So maraming salamat and I hope to see you around on my next episode. Bye-bye!